The Fitzgerald Theater is the oldest active theater in St. Paul, but is it also haunted?
In this week's Finding Minnesota, John Lauritsen shows us why some believe the audience and performers are far from alone.
It's just like a really magical thing to have almost a little time box, that captures the history of art and entertainment here in the city.
For nearly 115 years, the Fitzgerald Theater in downtown St. Paul has been a destination featuring opening and closing acts of all kinds.
We get opera, we get ballet, we get rock and roll, we get folk music.
Names of actors and singers can be found on the famous Fitzgerald bricks. Of course, the Prairie Home Companion Show has also had quite a run here.
Paul Simon was one of the first guests that he had on, and that was just an amazing thing. Paul was amazing to work with.
The performers make the headlines, but it's the people behind the scenes who make the history. That includes an old theater worker who simply went by the name Ben.
Yes, a stagehand. He had his red toolbox that he carried around all the time.
Ben retired more than half a century ago and later died, but some believe he never left. Engineer Dan Zimmerman says that became a little more apparent during a renovation in 1985, when an architect discovered a hidden door in the first balcony.
And he found this little door up in the first balcony, and he said, guys, there's a second balcony up here, because at that time for the movie theater, they had put in a false ceiling from the front of the second balcony to the top of the proscenium.
This is where they discovered that hidden balcony, and it wasn't the only piece from the past they uncovered that day.
And within that, they found, I think, some mysterious, not remains, but mysterious sort of little remnants of the past.
Including an old note addressed to Ben, which workers took. Nobody knows what it said, but some believe the discovery stirred Ben's spirit. Employees have reported seeing his ghost in that second balcony when the theater is closed. Audience members have also described getting help from a nice man upstairs.
Whoever you put me up there with was really helpful. We didn't put you up there with anybody. So, okay, yeah, that's, I think, where some of the raised eyebrows and sort of the feelings of like, oh, well, I talked to somebody.
Some performers, when they come, ask about it. Some audience members do, so it's definitely out there.
So are reports of Vaudeville Veronica, a performer from the theater's early days. Some workers have said they've heard her singing late at night. Possible proof that even when the theater goes dark, the show goes on.
There's always another layer behind the stories, too, because this is a place where stories are told. And so I think, that sort of helps propel this along. But of course, I think a theater should be haunted. Why not?
John Lauritsen, WCCO News.
Some theater workers also describe having their tools mysteriously moved while they were working on a project. They believe that Ben's ghost is responsible.